Well, we're pleased to be rejoined by Keith Perret, who is with State Farm Insurance and located in National Hills, not far from a pretty preeminent golf course, I would say.
Yeah, they have a golf tournament there every year, I hear.
Yes.
Causes a little traffic, but if you know where Turner Piano is or Meemaw had one, we're right in between those two right there on Washington Road.
And his grass is pretty lush, similar to the folks there
we try.
at Augusta National, definitely. And Keith really is all about, no pun intended, going the extra mile for clients. And I'd love for you to share a story of a driver that had a mishap and actually crashed into your client's home.
Yeah.
How did that happen, and how did you sort of step in?
So what actually happened is it was his neighbor that lost control of his car, which proceeded to drive through his living room. And so he called us, kind of not sure what to do. And so the first thing that we did is we have partners in the industry that we work with, whether it's roofers, plumbers, mitigation companies, car dealerships, body shops, towing, lots of different people that so that when somebody needs something, I can refer somebody to them. Don't have to use who I refer, and normally I'll refer more than one. But in this case, we had a group, it was actually Southeast Restoration, that we sent out there, and they were kind enough to go ahead and get the thing closed up. Because that's the first thing you want to do if you have a tree fall on your house or you have a situation like that, is mitigate the damage so there's not more damage. So we did that. And the car that ran into the house was actually responsible for the damage. And they had enough property damage coverage through another company to be able to handle the amount that it's going to cost to fix this. The problem is the other company has been dragging their feet. They've been struggling with not having adjusters, a lot of things going on there, a lot of reasons for it. But the bottom line was that happened, I think, 17th of last month. And a week ago, nothing had been done. And so I finally got involved. The ladies brought it to me. And so what I did is I called State Farm Claims and said, hey, what can we do to help this customer? And I was able to find out that regardless of what the other company did, because we know they're going to be responsible, we know they're going to pay for it, we could go ahead and file it under State Farm and at least get the work started.
And then was your partner willing to sort of wait on the payment?
Yeah, so, what I did also was I had to contact the other insurance company, make sure we had the claim number, see what was going on there, push that forward, get a commitment, at least a verbal from them. Then I could go back to our partner and say, hey, look, I need a favor. I need your guys' help here because there is a deductible that this customer would have to come out of pocket with if he files it through his own homeowner's insurance, and we didn't want him to have to do that. So what we asked them to do was, hey, can you go ahead and start the work without that, understanding that you're going to get paid? And they were kind enough to do that. And so now at least we have the work started. The guy can start getting his home fixed. But that's the value in having an agent, somebody that's going to go to bat for you and work with not only our company but the other companies to make sure that you're getting taken care of the way you need to.
Well, and speaking of excellent service, and we're with Keith Perret again from State Farm, the number 706-925-LIFE, and also kpinthehouse.com. And when a client of yours, like the homeowner there, thinks that they have a claim, what do they do when they call in, and how do you provide what's called a warm transfer?
Yeah, so, the last thing that we want to do when somebody has an auto accident or a homeowner's claim potentially is just go, okay, hey, here's the number for claims, call them. And
1-800-HELP.
Yeah, good luck. That's what you get with your Geicos, your Nationwides, your even USAA has a call center over in Austin, I believe. But that's what you're going to get there, and it's a model, right? I'm not saying it's bad, but I'm just saying that's their model. Our model is different in that when you call us, we're going to understand what happened, give us the circumstances surrounding this, because we want to make sure that you need to file a claim. So, for example, in a homeowner's claim, a lot of people don't know what's covered and what's not. So we will get involved with that. We will try to send somebody out there first to take a look at the damage, get an estimate, and report back to me to let me know, hey, this is what I see. And at that point, I can discuss with the insured, hey, this is what we should do. We should file a claim. We should not file a claim, and just make some decisions based on that. Because if you file a claim with an insurance company and we send out an adjuster and it's a no-pay claim, or it doesn't equal as much as your deductible, it still counts as a homeowner's claim against you. So you don't want that.
Gotcha.
Right? You want to make sure
rates might go up,
and they could. I'm not saying they will, but that could happen. But it is a factor that you need to pay attention to. Same thing with an auto accident. You know, a lot of people are like, well, I need to put in a claim. Well, the first thing I tell them to do is, number one, make sure you got your police report and go get you an estimate before, you know, and you can do that. You don't have to wait to put in a claim to do that, but it's something that you need to do so that when the adjuster gets it, you already have an estimate. It's a shop. It's a reputable shop. It's a reputable estimate. And what a lot of people don't know is that first estimate may not have everything. You know, they might start tearing your car apart and they might find other things. So there's supplemental that will go into that to help you. But we just walk people through that. And a lot of times that means that we'll either file the claim on their behalf or your question, we will call claims for them while they're on the phone and then just transfer them over. Start the conversation and then move it to them. Just because sometimes, you know, State Farm's not perfect. And sometimes calling our claims is like calling other claims. You wait on hold for a little while.
Sure.
We try not to have that, but it happens. So our goal is always to make it the best possible experience for others because we have to separate ourselves from the competition.
Well, that makes sense. And you want to be an advocate, a liaison. And I do know sometimes because money's involved, let's face it, there can be a little bit of a disconnect between someone who's an insurance agent and maybe the adjuster of the company. And how do you maybe bridge that gap?
So we saw that a little bit with the most recent hailstorms because they were widespread.
Yeah.
And when you have a catastrophe like that, you're bringing in adjusters from other areas that may or may not know this area. Not that they're doing anything wrong or bad, but sometimes their paradigm or what they're used to is a little different. And so we've had several situations where we sent out a roofer. They had one estimate. We sent out an adjuster, came back with something completely different. And our adjusters, I will say this at State Time, do a very good job of involving the agent. So they will let us know when there's a potential conflict, when there's a problem, when things aren't jiving, and then we can get involved and be the liaison between that. But that takes work, and that takes time, and that takes effort, and that's what you can expect from our office, is that we will do that for you. We will go to bat for you. We are your advocate to claims, to service, to billing, to all those different things.
Well, that's excellent to know because when we pay our premiums every month, God forbid we need help. We want to have help on the other end if an accident happens.
Absolutely.
Very reasonable, of course. And you may want to get started and, Keith will sit down with you. Just call him. He'll sometimes buy a coffee or bring you in the office at 706-925-LIFE. He's on Washington Road again in National Hills, and it's kpinthehouse.com. Keith, thank you so much again.
Yeah, one thing I want to add before we finish is that when you do come in, whether you meet with myself or with one of my team members, the worst thing that's going to happen to you is you're going to have a better understanding of your insurance. You may not go with us. It may be a price issue. It could be any number of things. But I promise you we're going to educate you. We're going to take the time to explain it to you. And if it just is cost prohibitive to come to State Farm, we're going to make sure that you go back to your current company and change certain things. And so that's a big deal for a lot of people because, what I find is that most people don't understand their insurance. I didn't. When I was young, I just bought it because I had to. I have a brother who's a lawyer, so I bought big limits, right? But I didn't really understand them. So I make it my personal mission to educate people. I tell people all the time, we don't sell insurance, we explain insurance.
Well said. And thank you, Keith. And thanks to our hosts here at Augusta Podcasts and Get Up Productions. The information's up on the screen. You may have an organization you're part of that would like to get the word out, or if your company would like to do some social media marketing, this could be a good way to do so.